All right, today we have an interesting question. It's a long question, so I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit. But basically, the question is, when I go out and do pickup, it looks and feels like I'm doing pickup, right? And it comes off as maybe socially unacceptable, maybe a little bit creepy. So how do you do pickup in a way that doesn't come off as creepy? It's an interesting question, and the real interesting part of it is what about doing pickup could come off as being creepy? Because on a certain level, you're walking up to a girl and you're giving her a compliment, you're showing that you think she's potentially a valuable, worthwhile person. There really shouldn't be much creepy in that. However, the thing that can come off as creepy in pickup is having an agenda, right? Having an agenda. If it appears that you're walking up to the girl in order to get something from her or in order to use her in some way, that is pretty creepy, right? And a lot of people that object to pickup in general, that's the objection they make, is it's like dehumanizing to people, or it's not treating the girl as a human being. It's treating her as an object, right? And within the scope of that, it is valid that that's not necessarily the best frame to be coming from, or not necessarily the most flattering or socially acceptable frame to be coming from. However, what you should be doing when you do pickup is not that, right? What you should be doing is going up and finding out if you and this girl have chemistry together, finding out if you and this girl get along, right? One of the beautiful things about doing pickup is that you literally have every girl in the world as an available possibility for you, right? And so rather than coming at it from a needy frame of I need to get this girl, or I need to like make her like me, right? Instead you have this frame of there are an abundance of girls, there are so many possible girls I could talk to, and I have the opportunity, the ability to actually find the ones I'm most compatible with. And so your job should not be, oh, I want to make her like me, or oh, I want to get her to have sex with me. It should be, oh, I want to find out if this is the right girl for me, if this is the girl I have chemistry with, if this is the girl where we're going to have an amazing time together, possibly an amazing relationship together. All right, so going in with that as your frame and that as your attitude actually will make it a lot less creepy, right? A lot non-creepy, right? As much as that's grammatically wrong, I like it. It'll make it a lot non-creepy. So how do you do that, right? So that does not mean being, because this is the other way that it can be, pickup could be creepy, is when you go and insult girls, right? So if you're like, well, I'm not trying to be needy for girls, I'm not trying to like, be too over the top interested, so they go in and they do like the stereotypical neg, which is like going in and insulting the girl or telling her she's shit or something like that. That's also creepy, right? You went up and approached her. You walked up and talked to her. You chose her. You singled her out. Ideally, you singled her out to make her day a bit better, not to make her day worse. And you singled her out because you're genuinely interested in her because she stood out in a positive way. It's a little disingenuous to be like, hey, so I wanted to come over here and talk to you and tell you how shitty you are. It doesn't make sense, right? So you want to be positive, like have a positive idea of the girl. You want to have a positive expectation, but at the same time, you're a high value guy with options, so you're not completely bought in from the first moment. It's like the equivalent to like if you went onto a car lot to buy a car. You drove to the car lot, you picked out a certain car you're looking at, so clearly you are interested in the car. Saying that you have no interest in a car is stupid at that point. However, it's not your job to sell yourself to the car at that point. It's still the car salesman's job to sell the car to you. So you can go up and say, hey, I'm interested in this car, tell me more about it. I'm interested in this car, I want to see if it fits my family and my lifestyle, right? So same thing, you walk up to the girl, hey, I'm interested in you, I want to find out if we get along. Hey, I'm interested in you, I want to find out if you're as cool as your look suggests, or as cool as your first impression leads me to believe, those kind of things. And that frame is very genuine, very high value. It's complimentary and flattering without giving your power away, and also without having an outcome of let's have sex no matter what. Because the idea that you would go have sex with any girl is a bit dehumanizing. It is a bit like impersonal. But the idea I want to meet you to see if we have sexual chemistry is flattering and personal, which is what pickup should be. The final way that pickup could be perceived of as creepy or whatever is that it is a social scene and it is potentially like awkward for the girl, right? So if you are approaching someone like a girl in like a crowded coffee shop, if you go in some like over the top way and everybody is focused on her and it's like embarrassing for her, the social pressure is a lot for her, that could be a little difficult. It could be creepy from her perspective. So the other thing you should do when you do pickup is be cognizant of that. Be aware of the girl's situation, be aware of the girl's surroundings, and be aware of her experience. So I do not suggest going in and apologizing for yourself, like, hey, sorry, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you or make a scene. I don't like that. However, you say, hey, how you doing? And she seems nervous, you could say, I'm actually I have to go in a minute, but anyway, and do something as a softener. Or you could, lower your voice and be like, hey, listen, I I have to go in a minute, but I just wanted to take it just a second and find out, etc. You can lower your voice, be a little more normal. Don't have to be like, big scene, over the top, self-amuse, right? You don't have to do that. You can be more chill about the whole thing. And you can even make the excuse. You can be like, hey, listen, I know it's a little awkward, all these people around, but it's the only opportunity I have to meet this potentially incredible person, so here we are, right? You can narrate the situation if you have to after the fact. Just don't go in assuming a negative. You don't want to assume you're a burden. You want to go in assuming that you're a positive, assuming that they're going to like you, assuming that you're bringing value to their life, because in all honesty, you are. In all honesty, think of it this way. If you had a check in your back pocket for, say, $10,000, and your job was to go present this check to them, there would be nothing creepy about that because it's a pure benefit to them. Right? You wouldn't feel weird or awkward about, hey, listen, you won the sweepstakes, here's the check that's your prize, right? But you as a person, if you were to meet someone and decide to be their boyfriend, if you decide to commit your time, resources, effort, attention, ability to teach them about life, if you were to commit all that and good sex, commit all that to them, that's worth way more than $10,000. So you should feel just as much as though you're giving them value in that context. So you need to go in assuming that they're smart enough to realize and recognize that value, but at the same time be cognizant of the fact that they don't know you yet, and so it may take them a minute or two to realize the value is there, right? So understand their situation, understand that you may need to ease into it a little bit. You may need to not be so, upfront and blatant about things, especially when, again, there are people around, you're making a scene. If the girl has friends, you want to let her make a good impression in front of her friends. Because if you walk up to a girl and the message in front of her friends is, hey, I wanted to hit on you, will you come have sex with me? And she's like, yes, I will. She's going to look really bad, potentially quite slutty in front of her friends. But if, on the other hand, you win over the friends, take the time, treat them as human beings, acknowledge her situation relative to them, again, we call it calibration, paying attention to the girl's experience and trying to make it positive. When you're doing that, when you're making it a positive for her, it's very, very hard for it to be creepy.